Hey everyone, I'm just doing a video for my trophy collection as of November 2022. I'm not a huge trophy hunter. I only really go for trophies in games that I really like or I know I'm gonna love or the trophy list is doable. I'm not really someone that's gonna go out and play the game multiple times on the hardest difficulty or spend hours grinding or searching for collectibles if I'm not enjoying the game. Sometimes that is kind of fun though, to just put on like YouTube or listen to music and just kind of roam around the world and do collectibles. But yeah, I really have to enjoy the game a lot and love it and kind of like want to be like, yeah, this is a game I want to have the platinum for. Like it's like giving it my own personal seal of approval as a game kind of thing. As you can see at the top of my list here, I have the Cowabunga collection of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Midnight Fight Express and God of War Ragnarok. Just kind of started playing both of these, or all three of these games recently. Definitely going to go for the platinum for Ragnarok because I got the platinum for the original God of War, the 2018 God of War, and it's an amazing game, definitely one of the best games of the year, and I'm loving every minute of it. So if it's like the 2018 God of War trophy list, it'll be very attainable, so I'll definitely be going for that one. So the first game that shows up on my list here is the Batman Telltale game. It's the farthest one back because I've played it. It's so long ago since I've played it, but it's not the first platinum that I actually did earn. But if you've played any of the Telltale games, you'll understand how easy it is to get the platinum in any of these games. So all you do is literally play through the story, and once you're done, you get it. So not too much to say on that one. It took me 18 hours, but it's a really fun game, and I did enjoy it a lot. So yeah, it's worth getting. Next up, we have Ratchet and Clank. Played that one for 36 hours. I really like this game. Definitely going to play Rift Apart now that I have a PS5. But this is just a fun adventure game that you basically just play the game to get the story trophies. But there's a little bit of collectibles and some fun little miscellaneous ones that you can do in this game. Upgrade every weapon, all the modifications and stuff. But I just had so much fun throughout the game and in all the different worlds you can go to that I was gonna go for this one no problem. I think most people could agree that the hardest trophies in this game and kind of the most time-consuming is the Groovatron one, Death by Disco, where you literally have to make sure you use this certain type of weapon on every single enemy in the game. That includes bosses, everything. So I had definitely missed that on my first playthrough, but you do actually have to play the game on a second time on challenge mode, which is not that hard, but you had to go through that. So I did that on my second run, and I was starting to panic because the trophy wasn't unlocking yet, and I got to the final boss, but of course it turns out the final boss was the last one I needed. So got the platinum right then and there with both those trophies. But Ratchet & Clank is an awesome, very fun little game. So Star Wars Battlefront, a game that was not loved by a ton of people, but this was actually the very first game I got on PlayStation 4 when I got a PlayStation 4, and actually was the first game I started getting trophies for, and the very first platinum. As you can see, I played a hell of a lot of this game, 417 hours. I really liked it. I thought it was very fun, just a very fun multiplayer shooter, just easy to just throw on and have a couple matches, and I liked it so much I went for every trophy, got the platinum. The hardest one was the ATST one, where you had to kill 25 players with an ATST, crush them with one swift stroke. In an online game that's hard because when you get in the ATST, all the other players immediately start shooting for you and aiming for you. So not the easiest to get, but I kind of lucked out and kind of went into a spot where a bunch of people were camping and just kind of went to town on them. But this is just a kind of get them as you play kind of game, the trophies as you play. And as you can see, I went for a lot of the DLC, season pass I should say, trophies. Didn't end up getting the last one for actually get to rank 100. So a little disappointing because I would love to see 100% for this entire game because I really did truly like it, and I know I kind of feel a little bit of sentimentality towards this game because it was my first one. But that was my first platinum trophy for PlayStation ever. So yeah, as mentioned earlier, here's God of War 2018. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely loved it. As you can see, I played it non-stop until I got the platinum. Basically for a few weeks. I got it on the 12th of May, and I got the platinum on June 9th, so only a few weeks, but I was addicted to it. You just play through the game to get some collectibles, upgrades, do all the side quests, basically just enjoying the game and taking in every little aspect of it. The ravens, you know, killing all the ravens, that was a bit time consuming. I didn't hate it though, and you have to do that in Ragnarok as well. It's kind of just enjoying the game world and kind of walking around and exploring it. I don't mind doing it, especially since there's only like 50 of them, there's not hundreds. And the Valkyrie Queen, of course, was a very hard trophy, but I prevailed and got it. And yeah, I think it's a pretty popular platinum. I think quite a few people do have it. And that just kind of goes to show how good of a game it is people were like, I'm, you know, willing to see every little part of the game to get the platinum. So yeah, not much else to say for that one. It's just an absolute 10 out of 10 game. So not a platinum here, but I did get 100% trophies in Overcooked, the first one. Very fun, very hilarious little co-op game. Very easy trophies, very fun game. Spider-Man though, that's another 2018 Sony game that I think not everyone, but a lot of people got the platinum for. Very awesome game, definitely one of the best of the year. Probably one of the best games on PS4, and it's on PS5 now. But yeah, as you can see, I even got all of the DLC trophies just because it's just more fun story to do, more little side quests, just fun stuff to find. I mean, even getting the collectibles is fun, just swinging around the city. It's not like you have to search very hard to find them because they're easy to track. They're easy to, everything is, it's very user-friendly, this game, I find. They really kind of streamlined it to make a lot of people be able to 100% it. So yeah, you just kind of have to do everything you can in the game and enjoy it to its maximum potential, and you'll get all the trophies. And New Game Plus, you know, I had to play the game again, but it's easy to just kind of blast through the story. You don't have to worry about doing any of the side stuff. And the DLC is fun and lots of cool characters and villains. So big Spider-Man fan, so of course I was going to play this and get the platinum for it. So here we have the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. This is actually just showing Spyro 3, but I did get the platinum for all three of them. Very easy platinum for all three of these games, and someone who grew up in the 90s, I loved these games as a kid, so of course I wanted to play them again. And you literally just have to play the game here. Like, you just go through the game, do all the little tasks in each level, explore, have fun. It's just a fun, breezy kind of collectible game. Colorful, funny, just chill. It came out around Christmas time in 2018, so it was kind of a nice little Christmas game to play. And it took me a few days to get the trophies in all three games. I just didn't really have much else to do, and it was just a fun, very fun little game. So yeah, that's 3 platinums for one game right there. So I really like that. I really like the collection, and I definitely think it's worth getting for sure. Another 100% game with no platinum, but What Remains of Edith Finch. Probably one of the best games on PS4. It's literally takes 2 hours to beat. I think I've only played it for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. And there's a couple little trophies you may have to look up to see what you need to do. Some of them aren't dealing with playing the game. Like, you'd have to like do a little miscellaneous task. There's one where you have to play as an owl and catch 2 rabbits, as you can see. Little things that you can do around the house and in each segment, but honestly, it's an experience. This game, it's emotional, it's sad, it's funny, it's scary, and it's 2 hours. It's basically a movie, like a enjoyable movie length game. But I 100% recommend What Remains of Edith Finch. It's an unforgettable game in my opinion. And again, we get another 100% with no platinum, Shakedown Hawaii. This is like a little top-down Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 kind of looking game where it's kind of like a GTA. You run around and do crimes and missions and cause mayhem. It's really fun, and the trophies weren't too bad in it. Obviously, there's a bit of grinding with completing every mission and side quests. You have to get a gold medal in every challenge, acquire every building, which takes a lot of money. So there's a lot you can do here. This is kind of like a put it on and listen to YouTube or listen to music while I'm playing kind of game. But I had a blast with it, and I do wish that there was a platinum for it, but oh well. So here we got Donut County, another very short game. As you can see, I only played 2 hours of this game, but a very cute, fun little puzzle game where you kind of just control a hole in the ground and move the hole around and suck everything up. Not much else to the game. There's a few little challenges and puzzles you have to do, and the trophies were very easy. Some of them are just things you just have to do in the game, and some of them are just like finding a random thing. You know, something you might have to look up just to make sure you know exactly what to do, but not a hard game at all. And kind of just like a palate cleanser if you were playing something really long, and yeah, it's just a very cute, short little game. So this one was a game that I actually played for Xbox 360 years ago, and it came out as a remastered version, and I loved it back then, so I was going to pick it up for sure when it came out again. Mark of the Ninja, I played it for 18 hours, and a very fun side-scrolling stealth game. You play as a ninja, and yeah, it's kind of like sneak through the level and kill everyone, or you can kind of sneak by with your gadgets. You don't have to, you can get by without killing people, but yeah, lots of little side objectives and challenges you have to do in this game. So it wasn't the easiest platinum, but I love the game so much that I was going to get it regardless. You do have to complete the game again in New Game Plus, which is something that you can see I kind of didn't do for like a year after I beat it. But I knew I wanted to come back and play this game again. There's a bit of collectibles and things you need to look out for, like earning 3 stars and earning all the seals, getting all the scrolls, upgrades, a little bit of exploration that's needed in every level, because it is a bit of like a Metroidvania game is what it would be classified as, where there's different branching paths and different areas you can go to you can't go to if you don't have an upgrade, or if you might miss if you're not exploring the entirety of the level. But I think the game is incredibly fun and up my alley for sure. So if you're into like action, adventure, platform kind of games, then I would definitely give this one a go. So here we got Superhot and Mind Control Delete, 19 hours on this one. Basically a sequel or almost like a DLC to the original Superhot, which I really loved. And this was given to people for free that had purchased the original Superhot, so of course I was going to get it. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Superhot, it's kind of like a puzzle shooter where it's like time doesn't move if you don't move. So like you have people coming at you, and you can shoot them and punch them and throw knives at them, all this different stuff. It's very fun. Awesome game. Trophies weren't super hard. They were challenging. The titles, as you can see, don't really tell you what anything is or what anything what you have to do to get the trophy, but there is one where you literally need to have leave the game running for a long time. I did that while I was working from home like a year or two ago, and that was all I needed for the platinum, so ended up getting that one. And yeah, very fun game. I love the Superhot games. And here we got the next Spider-Man game that came out, Miles Morales. Bit of a shorter game, only 29 hours on this one, but yeah, I was obviously going to get the platinum on this too, because it's very much like the first Spider-Man, where it's literally just play the game, find all the collectibles, do all the side missions, 100% complete all districts and all skills, everything. Just an awesome, fun little game. Yeah, very easy platinum. I was going to get that one for sure. So here we have my very first Soulsborne game and very first Soulsborne platinum, and to this date, the only one I have so far, Bloodborne. Also, I got 100% on the Old Hunters DLC. I started playing this game years and years ago when it was free on PS Plus. Couldn't get past the first area. I just got frustrated and said, you know what, this game isn't for me. Then COVID happened, and I was stuck at home, and I started playing the game again, and I got addicted to it, and I just got really good at it. I loved it. I was obsessed with it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, probably top 5. And I just love everything about it. I love the bosses. I love the lore. I was going to get 100. I knew I was going to get the platinum on this once I started playing it. And for sure, the most challenging and time-consuming parts were the dungeons, the Chalice dungeons, where you have to go through all of the dungeons, beat all these different bosses. There's just so much. They start to look very same after a while. But anyways, I love this game. I really don't have much bad to say about it. And yeah, incredible game. And the Old Hunters DLC was also very challenging, but very fun. Awesome bosses in it. Just an incredible game. And not for the faint of heart, but if you do enjoy this kind of games, go for the platinum for Bloodborne if you don't already have it. Next up, we got Control. I liked this game quite a bit. Yeah, of course, I got the platinum for it. I didn't really bother with the DLC, but parts of it were a little underwhelming for me, but it didn't suck me in like I thought it would right away. But once I started really playing the game and getting towards the end and upgrading my character, I started to really enjoy it. And the side missions were really cool. Some of the side missions were even better than the main part of the game, but I really like third-person shooters, and yeah, all the abilities and different powers you can get in this game are really fun. And exploring the building that you're in is really cool. Yeah, not a super hard platinum, and not very challenging in the sense that if you're already playing the game and enjoying it, you probably could go for it. Like I said, there's a bit of collectibles, but nothing that's completely out of the realm of like a normal kind of beat everything in the game. You don't have to play it multiple times. You don't have to play it on the hardest difficulty or anything like that, so it's always a bonus. Concrete Genie was another one that I kind of stumbled upon and started playing, and of course, I realized how easy it was, and I was like, oh, the platinum is... I looked up how difficult the platinum would be once I kind of got really into the game, and it's not a hard game. I only played it for 9 hours, and it's just a fun little platformer adventure game. There's a few little trophies that you need to make sure you know what you're doing. Certain things that you may need to keep an eye out for, little challenges, little puzzles. But a lot of it is just kind of playing the game. But there's little challenges you do with the genies, which are the little things that you paint and they come to life on the walls. Yeah, very cute little game. Has a nice message behind it. Bullying is not good, stuff like that. But yeah, I like the art style, and cute little adventure game. So I'd check it out and go for the platinum if you like it. All right, here we have Skyrim, which was 167 hours, and yeah, one of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely love it. Still haven't done the DLC trophies, which kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but I think I'll go for them eventually. I obviously have some of them, but I just played this game so much that I wanted to take a break from it once I was done. And I took a lot of time with this game. I probably spent multiple years. See, as you can see, I started it in 2016 and I didn't get the platinum until 2020, but I just got so distracted by all the things you can do in this game. It took me a long time to even beat the main quest. And I did run into some bugs in this game too, which almost stopped me from completing the main quest. There was a quest that just bugged out on me completely. I have nothing but good things to say about this game. It's one of the best ever made, in my opinion. It's just total, it sucks you into the world. There's so much to do and see and read and kill and explore. Some of the side quests were a little frustrating. I found the most challenging ones were all of the Daedric ones, where you need to get all the Daedric artifacts. Collect 15 of them. This was probably one of the hardest trophies because one of those bugged on me as well, and I almost had to start a whole new file, which was a little stressful, but somehow it seemed to work. But yeah, there's just a lot of this is just play the game. So a lot of these you will get naturally, but there is a little bit of grinding. The gold, have 100,000 gold was a bit of a grind. Getting a skill to 100, dungeons. A lot of it's just, you could put something on and kind of play the game, like listen to music and play the game or whatever. But yeah, Skyrim, love it. Absolutely love it. I feel like this is one of my most rewarding feeling platinums, and kind of ones that I treasure the most. Just in the sense that it's a game that I love so much. Same with this and Bloodborne. I'm so proud of these platinums, and I'm just shows my stamp of approval of these games. These are my personal stamp of approval that these games are some of the best ever. And as a segue into the next game, we have The Messenger, which is also probably one of my favorite games of all time. This is a huge surprise for me. Downloaded this one because I thought it looked cool. It looked like an NES, SNES side-scroller ninja game, very similar to Mark of the Ninja, but this game pulled me in so much. I got obsessed with it. I could not stop playing it. I thought it was one of the funnest things ever. It only took me, the month of January 2020, I was just playing this game, thinking about it, couldn't stop. I was like, I wanted to get on the rooftops and shout about how much I love this game. It's just fun action platformer. There's puzzles, there's cool bosses, The music is awesome. It's fun as hell. It's just one of the most, I think it's probably one of the most perfect for me games, if that makes any sense. But yeah, the puzzles or the trophies in this game, there are like 3 or 4 that would definitely require a guide, but I was willing to get them, and some of them are very frustrating, but I was willing to get them just because of how much I love this game. I was like, I want to explore and 100% everything there is to do and see in this game, and just kind of like celebrate how much I love it. So yeah, there's a bit of grinding you need to do. You need to play the game. I had to play it at least twice, but I loved it so much I wanted to jump back in as soon as I was done with it. A lot of exploration and puzzles. I'll say one of the most challenging ones in the game is probably this no argument here one, where you have to make it to, I think it's the 4th area, the 4th level in the game, and beat the boss of that level with 0 deaths. Very doable, and I think I actually thankfully succeeded on my first try, but it was a bit stressful. I think I had a few close calls, and especially once you get all the way to the boss and you're like, if I die here, I gotta start again. But thankfully it only takes like probably an hour or something to get there, but still, you know, you don't want to waste that time if you don't have to. But I recommend this game so much. Please go out and play it. Please tell everyone to play it. There's a free DLC that they released because the developers are awesome, and that's fun. That's very fun and worth playing as well. So please check out The Messenger. It's just an amazing game. So Yoku's Island Express, this is like a cute little adventure pinball kind of game. Kind of reminded me of Yoshi's Story for Nintendo 64, and that it's a very fruit-centric game. You got to collect a lot of fruit. But you basically just kind of roll and bounce and jump around this island, collecting things, doing little quests, going on adventures. It's a fun little game, and I didn't find the trophies that challenging. A lot of it's just playing the game and collecting things, but there's a few little miscellaneous ones you need to keep an eye out for and maybe need to look up a guide for, but a lot of it's just kind of, you know, play the game, beat everything, do all the quests. You gotta toot a party horn 1,000 times. That's literally just spamming a button because there's a button that blows a horn. A fun little game. I thought it was cute. Cute for kids, but also for adults as well. It's just like a little adventure game. And if you like pinball, you might get a kick out of it because there's a lot of pinball stuff you got to do. Like the whole game is basically shooting yourself around this pinball island. So yeah, check out Yoku's Island Express. It's usually cheap, pretty fun little game. So another cool short little indie game, kind of similar to The Messenger, but I didn't enjoy it as much, but it's called Carrion, and you basically control a giant, well, it starts out small, but the more people you eat, the bigger it gets, but it's this like creepy alien with tentacles that you move around this underground lair. It's kind of it's very Metroidvania, but I thought it was fun. You know, you get to play as a villain, which is kind of cool, and you just kind of run around and squirm and crawl through these vents and take out people and eat them, and you get power-ups and you have to solve puzzles and stuff. So very puzzle platformer kind of feeling, but for the trophies, you kind of just play through, you know, get all the areas, do all the puzzles, get to the very end of the game. I don't think I had a whole lot of trouble with this one. I think this trophy here, Jared Stultz, I think this was the hardest one, where you had to do all the containment units in the game, which were kind of collectibles, side missions that you need to kind of keep an eye out for. I think that was the only thing that I had a struggle with. It was probably the last one. Yeah, it was the last one I needed before the platinum, but a fun little game that's worth playing if you're into like horror, sci-fi, and not too hard. So I'd check out Carrion. So here we have another indie game, 14 hours of playing, but probably some of the most enjoyable 14 hours I've ever played in gaming. Return to the Obra Dinn. I love this game to death. It's like a super lo-fi, kind of like very minimal graphics, but you play as a detective and you're trying to solve mysteries aboard this abandoned ship that's come in, or that's been stranded out at sea, and you have a watch and you have to rewind time and revisit these crime scenes to see what happened. And the game just gets crazier and crazier as it goes on. It's just, without spoiling anything, it's just nothing is ever what you think it is, and some of the deaths are just so cool, and figuring things out, you feel like a genius when you figure it out. The platinum is basically just, you know, solve all the things in the game. I think the only trophy I didn't get was you need to leave the ship without solving, and I didn't do that my first playthrough. I went back and did that on the second one. Just incredible game. I can't say enough good things about it. I loved it so much. Much like The Messenger, it's all I could think about while I was playing, and I couldn't wait to get back to playing this game. Yeah, put this at the top of your list if you'd like to play a short little indie game with good trophies. Definitely play the Return of the Obra Dinn. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I have 100% in Overcooked, but it doesn't have a platinum, unfortunately. But did get the platinum for Overcooked 2. Didn't play all the DLC. I did play a bit of this one, but yeah, one of the funnest co-op games out there. We did a lot to get this one. You had to get 3 stars on every level, and we were just so addicted to it that we were like, we got to do it. And yeah, we did it. It's just fun. There's a little bit of grinding here. Like there's these ones weren't too fun. Some of them I literally did go into a level and just kind of throw things repeatedly because we actually didn't get some of these just playing the game naturally. I don't know. I love the game so much that I didn't mind just going in and doing these stupid random little things. And it's just such a chaotic, stupid, fun game. Yelling at each other to cut more potatoes or wash the dishes or I need more lettuce, you know. It's just funny. It's just a very funny game. Okay, so I'm not one to play these dollar games that give you a platinum. You know, I don't have any of these games on my list. I don't have any of these games downloaded or purchased at all. But I did see this one called Lady in a Leotard with a Gun, and it was $1. And I just looking at some videos of it, it's like this kind of reminds me of the game Killer 7, which I haven't played on GameCube. And one of my favorite games, actually. It's a very surreal, weird horror game. It's like a first-person shooter / puzzle exploration kind of game. And this kind of reminded me of it. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give this weird game a shot. It's like a little budget, like micro budget. And when I say micro, I mean like, you know, no budget, crappy little game. And oh, it's so stupid. I almost regret it, but you know, I played it for 1 hour and I got the platinum. But all you do is there's what, 7, 8, 10 levels, 11 levels in the game, and you just have to play through without getting any damage. And I did have to play some of them over and over and over again because some of them were just actually challenging. But it's just a bad game. And then the very last trophy, find the broken gun ducky in level 11. You literally have to walk like the equivalent of like 10 minutes or more in real time to the end of this long ass area in a game that just takes forever just to see this stupid thing. It's a dumb game. And I thought the graphics were kind of cool. They reminded me, like I said, of Killer 7, but yeah, not worth playing this game unless you are someone who searches for these bad trophy games. But that's not me. I thought I'd give one a chance, and yeah, don't regret it. Or don't regret it, but don't recommend it either. All right, so Death's Door is another platinum that I loved getting because I loved the game. It's like a little Zelda game, very similar to Zelda. You play as a crow. There's a lot of fun side quests in this game that I really enjoyed, which were tied to some trophies and some little miscellaneous ones that you may need to look up a guide for. But probably the hardest part of the game, well, you got 100% complete it, which is, if you love the game, you'll probably do anyways. But probably the hardest trophy is the one where you need to beat the game with only ever using an umbrella. So I played the game naturally. The first time I played it, I just wanted to enjoy it, you know, the way it's meant to be played. Then I was like, okay, I beat the game. I was like, you know what? I feel like I could probably go for that. So I decided to go for a second run, and that's what I needed for the platinum. And this is basically like the hard mode because the umbrella you can't upgrade it and it doesn't do as much damage. So it's kind of like playing the game again on hard. But I thought the game was just a very beautiful, gorgeous little game. The music is incredible. The combat's awesome. It's kind of like Dark Souls-y a little bit, but not as hard. It's like a Zelda kind of knockoff. I don't know. It's hard to describe games sometimes without comparing them to others, but I think Death's Door is 100% worth playing and even getting the platinum for it because it's just a beautiful little game. So So The Order 1886, I was actually very late playing this one. I just played it this spring. I heard that it was, it was sold at full price, and a lot of people didn't like it when it first came out because it's so short. But, as you can see, I played it for 19 hours, and I enjoyed it. It's very linear. It's not the hardest game. There's some things you have to do, like certain things, kill 5 enemies with a headshot, certain like stats you need to reach for certain numbers of things you need to do. But some of these I got naturally, and some of these I actually grinded for, which some of them aren't really grinding. It's just kind of doing the same thing over and over again while playing. I didn't have to like load up certain missions just to grind. But inspecting all the items and finding all the collectibles in this game was probably the most challenging, because some of them are easy to miss, but thankfully you can go back and just search through levels in a chapter select. So yeah, this was a fun game. I like the setting. I like the kind of like werewolf London kind of setting, kind of gothic. I thought it was great. And for a game that came out the start of PS4, it still looks amazing. So I check it out. It's pretty cheap nowadays too. So we got a recent game here that just came out a few months ago, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I knew I was gonna play this game when it came out, obviously, but I didn't know about the platinum until I started playing it and realized it's very doable. But I grew up loving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Turtles in Time game is one of my favorite games of all time. It's just a very fun beat 'em up. A lot of memories with it. And this is probably as good, if not better, than Turtles in Time. Like, it's just probably the perfect like cartoon beat 'em up. Some of these difficulty ones are doable in multiplayer, which is what I did. I was able to get some of them in multiplayer by playing online with people, like the arcade mode on the hardest difficulty, and completing without using a credit, because you're able to like join a game on the last level. So it's not exactly like the easiest, and it's kind of a cheap way of getting the trophy, but I don't know, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I wanted to get the trophies and knew there was a way to do it, so I did it. But the hardest one in this game was definitely defeat Super Shredder without getting hit, which is 100% skill based, and you need to kind of I found you needed to do on your own. There were people that were finding ways to just like somehow get into the game as he was dying. The final boss of the game was being killed, and you would get the trophy if you were able to join the game in time. But I found just doing it on my own was easier, and once you learn his pattern, then it's doable. But the rest of the trophies are very easy, and you'll get while playing. It's just literally a fun beat 'em up game where you find things in levels. There's little hidden collectibles. There's things you got to do with certain characters. This 250 hit string one was kind of challenging too, but there's ways to do it. So anyways, definitely one of my favorite games of the year, and yeah, I love this game, and I think everyone should play it. Another one of the best games of the year in my opinion, Stray, a game with a cat. Of course I was going to play it. And it's like a sci-fi, almost horror-like game. There's definitely some horror elements, but yeah, a lot of these trophies just by playing the game. Some of them are a little grindy. I was able to meow 100 times without even trying to get that trophy. Sleep for an hour. You kind of just have to find a spot in the game and just kind of let the controller sit the controller down for an hour. Not very hard. This one was probably the hardest. Can't Catch Me. You have to run away from the little aliens that chase you. Definitely have to find a pattern, the best pattern to do it. And it took me quite a few tries, several tries, but I was able to do it. And the other ones are not as challenging as they are. Just you kind of have to know what to do. I really did like the speedrun trophy as well, because once you know what you need to do in the game, how to beat all the puzzles. It's kind of fun to run through the game as fast as possible, and I was able to do it in definitely under 2 hours, so it's not a very hard one. I would highly recommend Stray. It's just a gorgeously cute game, and quite sad too. There's definitely some emotional moments in it, but yeah, I think it's one of the best games of the year, and I think there's quite a few people that probably agree with that. All right, next we got Bugsnax, which is a game I played earlier this summer, 22 hours. I didn't know what to make of this game at all. I was like, am I even gonna like this game? It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of childish. And I was a big fan of Pokemon Snap as a kid, and this reminded me a lot of that. So, not a big Pokemon fan currently, but this is more of an adventure game where you kind of just run around and do a lot of random little things to catch these Bugsnax. And a lot of it is a lot of the trophies come with, like I said, just playing the game. You definitely have a lot of this. A lot of these trophies, though, are like you need to 100% commit to, seeing everything there is to do, like catching 100 unique species. You need to know exactly what to do for them. Some of them are very tricky. Some of them you just walk up to and can catch, but some of them you need to like really figure out how to do it. I found really the only missable trophy was this snack squatch one, which you need to do it in the very last part of the game, I believe. And I missed it the first time, so I had to go back and do that. But thankfully the game saves before the very end of the game, so you are able to go back and do that because there is kind of like a point of no return in the game near the end. But yeah, some of the challenges in this game are really fun, like this combo meal one. You have to transform someone with a burger, fry, and soda Bugsnax to kind of make them like a meal. There's just a lot of fun little challenges to do in this game. Like a lot of the trophies in this game are just fun. Like it's like, oh, I actually want to do that. I want to experiment with the mechanics in this game, which the mechanics are really cool. Like there's just a lot of cool little physics-based things you can do, and just kind of experimenting with how the Bugsnax interact with one another and with you, so in the environment. So there's a lot of fun things to do in this game, and the game itself surprised me. It's kind of like a dark, emotional game. There's a lot of underlying themes that I think kids wouldn't get, but there's also some good messages too, and definitely some adult references that kids wouldn't get. But I thought Bugsnax was very, very fun, very good, and definitely a memorable game. Like I don't think I'll ever forget playing through this one. This is just a very, very bizarre experience, but one I enjoyed a lot. All right, so Sifu, another probably Game of the Year contender in my opinion. I love third-person action games. I saw the trailer for this, so I was like, oh, I'm all about this, like Arkham. I love the Batman Arkham games for the combat, and love martial arts movies and action movies, so I was just all over this. And admittedly, I was a little intimidated by this game, by the difficulty at first. I did end up beating it. But the talismans, as you can see, there's quite a bit of time difference between when I beat the game and when I was able to get the talismans. They did patch this game and include a lower difficulty, which I did end up using for some of them because the game is kind of punishing in the sense that, if you die, if you reach the very end of your life, you kind of go back and lose all that progress. So, it's a bit of a roguelite or roguelike or whatever people call these games, but I enjoyed it. I really liked the combat, and when you do good in this game, it feels amazing. Like some of the combat and some of the fights, just when you nail them, you feel like a master of combat. But yeah, there are some collectibles. There's some things that you'll be playing through this game multiple times. The levels multiple times you'll be returning to do different things, and some of the challenges come naturally just from playing the game. Some combat ones, things you won't even mean to go for, they'll just kind of happen. But some of the harder ones are ones where like they're level specific, where you need to do a certain thing in a level, and some of them were a little challenging, but some of them I was able to do first try, so it wasn't too hard. But there is one where you need to beat the game at the lowest age, which is I think 20 or 25. Not an easy trophy, but with the easier difficulty it is more attainable, and I think more people will probably get the platinum for this because of the easier difficulties. I have no problem with lowering difficulties in games. If that's how you want to play it, then that's how you should play it. There shouldn't be some stigma behind difficulty in gaming, in my opinion. But anyways, I love Sifu. I'd love to see a sequel to this game. Just so fun when the combat really hits. Pun intended, when it really hits, it hits hard. So Minit, as you can see, I played for only 2 hours. This is kind of like I mentioned with Death's Door, kind of like a very top-down Zelda-y game with you play the whole game in 1 minute increments of time, and it's a very cute little black and white indie game where you explore island and you have to find collectibles, do quests. That's basically all there is to it, but Very fun little game. I did play it previously on PC, so I knew what to do with this time I played it, but that didn't hamper my enjoyment of it at all. There are some things you will need to look up in this game, like certain quests and certain things like you wouldn't even think you need to do, but some of them come naturally. Some of them are quite easy to get. There is a second run you need to do, and then complete the game with 100% of all the items, and then complete the game without killing snakes, and in 25 runs or less. So a bit of a speed run game. Speed run. I was able to do the second run, the killing without killing snakes, and in 25 runs or less in one run, and it didn't take me very long at all. I found a video on YouTube that explained pretty easily what to do, so had no issues there. But the first time I played through the game, it was just naturally kind of figuring out things on my own. But there's a lot of really fun little miscellaneous things you can do in this game and figure out, and it's a lot of charm behind it. It's funny, it's quirky, it's weird. Yeah, so for like weird little indie games, definitely, if you're looking for a game like that, definitely check out Minit. So Astro's Playroom, played that for 5 hours. I played this right when I got a PS5. It's a cute little adventure, colorful game. Basically, any like children could play this and get the platinum. It's very easy. There's a few little things you need to look up probably, but some of it just comes with kind of messing around with the game and like in levels, certain little things you can look at and do and encounter. But a lot of it's just playing the game, collecting all the coins, all the artifacts, a lot of little PlayStation things you need to collect in this game. But yeah, if you have a PS5 and haven't played this, you're missing out on how the controller feels when you play this game, just because of all the different haptic movements inside the controller. It feels incredible, and honestly, and some of the music in this game is insanely good too. It's very catchy. So yeah, Astro's Playroom is a very fun and rewarding platinum. Elden Ring, as you can see, I'm still working on. Intend to get the platinum on this one at some point, but other things have come up, and I just played the game for so much when it first came out that I kind of got burnt out on it a little bit, but I will return to it. And Ghost of Tsushima, another platinum that was very fun and easy to get. Didn't do much of the DLC, but loved this game when it came out. I was obsessed with it. Played every quest, found every collectible, did everything. I knew I wanted to see everything in this game that was possible, and basically just by doing that, you're guaranteed a platinum trophy kind of thing. So yeah, just play through the game and kind of do and experience everything, and you'll probably get the platinum. There may be a few little miscellaneous ones I'm not remembering that you might need to like do a specific thing. Yeah, there's a few of them, but they're not hard, and if you're well acquainted with how the game plays and works, then you'll probably be able to do this without much of a challenge. Well, that's it for my November 2022 trophy update, I guess. I might do more of these down the line. I know some people do like trophy collection videos, and I like talking about them and showing them off as well. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you again if I do another one of these. Thanks a lot.